And this is inherently a big problem. So before we get off of Umar, let me go back into a clip from him from the Breakfast Club. No, this is from another podcast. Let me go into this one because I want people to understand that, when you talk about interracial dating, right? If you're gonna make a case to black people about, marrying your own, right? And I don't have a problem with it because I'm all with that. I live it again, so I don't have no problem with it. I can speak on it. If you're gonna make the case, though, if you have a choice, in my opinion, I would rather my son, I'll tell you right now, I'd rather my son marry another race of a woman, whether she's white or Asian or Spanish or whatever. I'd rather my son marry another race of a woman than have 3 baby mothers like Dr. Umar Johnson. That's the thing. I'd rather my son marry another race of a woman than have 3 black women he had children with that he didn't marry and has 3 baby mothers. 3 baby mothers is a problem. So if I have to weigh the two, so let me go back into Umar's video because we're talking about interracial dating real quick, and which something he's very against. And I'm like, okay, if you're against interracial dating, cool. Why haven't you married 1 black woman? Let's go into this quick clip.
Go back to the dating outside your race. You once said that dating interracially is a form of self-hatred.
Absolutely.
Why do you believe that?
Absolutely. Because why do you want to stare in the face of a member of the people who have committed the greatest human atrocities against your people? These are the people.
Is that only specifically to white people, or do you mean if they date an Asian woman or Indian woman? Is that still the same?
Well, I got 2 answers. If we dealing with white people,
right?
Why would you want one of them after what they've done to us and continue to do? Because your white girlfriend's still a racist. She still doesn't value black life. You understand? That white man Serena Williams is married to, he don't value black life. You understand? That white woman that took $1 billion from Tiger Woods, she don't value black life, right? I could give you countless examples of people I've met in therapy who were called the N-word by white husbands and white wives. You understand me? White people who have sex with you. Didn't the slave master sleep with our mothers and grandmothers?
Interracial dating, that's his position, right? And there's many people who have that position, many people who don't. Cool. I'm not here to advocate or argue against whether you should date within your race or without your race. I think it's your personal choice. And again, like I said, most people, when it comes to marriage, dating may be, I don't know the statistics on dating, but most people marry within their race. It's your choice. I really don't care who does what as far as who you marry, because I do think that people fall in love with who they love. And there's many different races. There's many different cultures, right? There's many different shades of people. But again, I do understand the duty and the understanding to say, I'm going to marry within my race or my community to further my community. All groups of people generally do this. We know this. But Dr. Umar, as he says that, he talks about how, all white people are racist, and dating outside your race, dating any other group of people is going to be essentially a bad thing. And again, I ask myself the question, and I ask y'all the question, to say, well, what's worse? Do you want your kids? Would you rather have your kids have 3 children out of wedlock with someone who's black, or be married in a nuclear family with someone who's not black, right? So my point is that interracial dating is not as much of a problem as having kids and not marrying the person you're having kids with. Because now, again, Dr. Umar has 3 kids, 3 baby mothers. So that means, I'm not saying he's not a father. I don't know to the extent of he's a father to his kids, but I do know he doesn't essentially live in the homes of either of his children as they're being raised. And he has 3 females, 3 girls, right? As far as I know, right? So 3 daughters. So 3 daughters know their dad isn't there, right? 3 daughters know that their dad is preaching about family, nuclear structure, and who they should be with, right? But he's not living that. And your kids look at what you do more than what you say. And that becomes the biggest issue for me. So, when you look at the black community, again, 70% of our children are born out of wedlock. 70% are with single mothers. 7 out of every 10. There's no question. That's a fact, right? So if you're a black man and you're running around talking about how the black family should be strong, telling black men they need to marry black women, and talking about don't marry these snow bunnies and this and this and that, you got to live by example. And here's the thing, if you're not living by example, you have to clarify why you have not, or just be humble enough to say, you know what, here's the mistakes I made. I made some big mistakes, but I want to correct them. Now, in the first video I played, Dr. Umar did talk about, well, I'm gonna get married, or I haven't gotten married yet after having these 3 baby mothers, right? But I'm gonna get married because I gotta have a queen because I'm opening my school. You don't need a queen just to open your school. Your school has nothing to do with you having a queen and a wife. If you wanted a wife and that was something you're intentional about, you would have been doing it. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. So you may want a queen. I'm talking about Dr. Umar now. He may say he want a wife now because it fits the image of maybe where he wants to go forward now with the school. And I hope he opens the school. But again, the problem that we have in the community and in the larger American society is single parenthood is not a good thing. It's a problem, right? So, and again, people end up in single parent households for many different reasons. It's not always something that the single parent planned. But I'm holding the man accountable, meaning Dr. Umar, is that, look, you did it 3 times. You had children 3 times, right? The condom didn't break 3 times. You went raw in 3 different women. And you didn't say to yourself after the first one, you know what? That ain't the direction I want to do. Because he's been a psychologist for over 25 years. He's been on the YouTube scene for at least, 12, 13 years now, right? The same age about his youngest daughter, who's 13. He's been around preaching this message for a long time about the black family and the black community. So how can we sit here and talk about the oppression of greater white society on the black community? The very first thing I got to take care of. I can't even fix my mouth to complain about white supremacy and what's going on in the black community and what needs to be done if I got 3 baby mothers. I'm feeling crazy. I'm feeling crazy if that's my situation. I'm humble. I don't have a lot to talk about who you should be dating as a black person. I don't have a lot to talk about the nuclear structure and getting married. I don't have a lot to say about that if I have 3 baby mothers. Unless I'm able to say, you know what, use me as an example from a relationship perspective about the problems or the mistakes that I made, and don't be like me. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, this is what we have going on in our community. No accountability, and for men and or women. And that's the worst thing in the world, because the generation coming behind you says, well, how can you be the Prince of Pan-Africanism? How can you be that and have 3 baby mothers and ain't married none? People who want to talk about some African cultures where there are multiple women. When you want to talk about that in other parts of the world, they still marry these women though. They're not just sitting around, bussing in these women and then, I got a daughter here, a daughter there, a son here. You can't do that. You can't do that if you want to preach about black family. And I think that's one of the real problems we're going to have to deal with. You can make speeches all day. You can talk about what black people need to do. But again, the people that really are respected are the ones who actually live it, right? You can say what you want to say about Martin Luther King. It's known he was a philanderer, if I'm saying the right word, philanderer. He cheated on his wife. It's known that he cheated on Coretta Scott King. FBI was bugging him. Most people know who were in that community back then or in that time. But he was married, and he did have a nuclear family, and his kids, he lived in the house with his mother. His kids lived in the house with him and his wife. So his kids were with their mother and their father. These are the things that I think, like a Dr. Umar, you got to think about those things when you try to lead people, because where we're at now in society, Martin Luther King, the internet wasn't on back then, right? We didn't have internet back then to really show that, okay, this person is not practicing what they preach. But now the internet is here. The internet has been here and it shows exactly what's going on. So again, should someone be given advice about who you should be dating? Should someone be given advice about nuclear family and talking about the role of what a black man should be doing or a black woman should be doing in relation to dating if they're not doing it themselves? That's really the question. So let's move on, because the second person I want to talk about is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So we're going to talk about the female side of this now. Now, the first time I saw Cheyenne Bryant, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, first time I saw her was on Cam Newton's show, right? She may have been on other stuff before that, but that's kind of where she hit my radar, and from what I see, hit a lot of other people's radar, right? So let's get into this, right? Let's get into that. We're going to talk about this podcast, The Truth After Dark. If you haven't seen this clip, it's Paul Pierce and another woman, I don't know her name, and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant talking about marriage. Paul Pierce asked Cheyenne Bryant about herself. Why is she not married? Because Cheyenne Bryant, again, I saw her on Cam Newton's show. She was grilling Cam Newton about having 8 kids and not being married and their baby mother, asking him valid questions about himself. But again, when you start to ask people about themselves and you're giving people advice, the question is like, yo, what are you doing in your personal life? It matters. It matters to me. If you're going to tell me about relationships, you got to get your own house in order first. So let's play this clip.
There's boundaries to keep that relationship healthy.
Yeah.
What's your situation right now?
What you mean situation?
Like,
Happy?
you got a man?
I'm dating. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Single but dating?
I am
Something serious
dating.
more than other?
No, just dating.
We gotta change, because she's therapying us.
Yeah.
We gotta make this about her now.
Right. You got it therapizing us.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want my woman to mommy me.
Like, hold on, what's going on with you? This is about you.